And welcome into Juck on Bucks today, a very special live edition of Juck on Bucks. And this is the third time recently that we've gone live in hopes to celebrate together in real time a big Buckeye boom. Now we're one for one. We got Max Roy. We were in here for Maxwell Roy's commitment, and we got that one. Then Justin Hill on Wednesday did not go the way we planned. But today we got Riley Pettijohn's decision in about a half an hour here. Riley Pettijohn, linebacker from McKinney, Texas. That's the top division of Texas football. He is 247 composites, number 31 overall player, a 5-star. Every service has him as at minimum a top 5 linebacker. Rivals has him as their number 1 linebacker in the class. He's James Laurinaitis' number 1 priority right now. 6'1.5", 6'2", 215 pounds. He's a converted safety. We talk about his playing style. We're talking all speed. This is a straight-up athlete, a sure tackler. He can cover downfield. He's violent at the point of attack. A crazy athlete for a linebacker with a personal record of a 10.7 100-meter dash, which is very fast for a secondary player. The only thing lacking from Pettijohn right now is a little bit of size, but he's got the frame to put it on. In fact, he's put on 30 pounds since 2022 and doesn't yet even look bulky. So plenty of room for growth. His dad's a unit. His dad was a defensive lineman. He's being recruited, obviously, by James Laurinaitis, but also Tim Walton. And his official Final Four schools are Texas, Ohio State, USC, and Texas A&M. And this was thought to be, from pretty much everybody in the recruiting industry, a Texas Longhorn slam dunk for a long time. He's been on their campus a dozen times. He knows their coaches extremely well. I thought it was a heck of a long shot, even when he came up for his official visit. But things started to change, and then it became a Texas-Ohio State battle. And then it kind of trended Texas A&M Ohio State recently. And now as we settle into the end here, this is a USC Ohio State battle with Texas A&M undoubtedly trying to throw a Hail Mary here at the end. And USC's in a desperate spot, like they are. I think the Buckeyes won this recruitment. We'll see if money wins the day. We've certainly seen that recently. And this is the first cycle that we've ever seen where there is 100% unrelegated pay for play. You don't have to disguise it in any kind of deals anymore. There's no phony business pretending deal. You're sponsoring this guy. You go and you negotiate a financial deal with no hoops to jump through. That's what it is. And the Ohio States and the Alabamas and the Georgias of the world, the elite recruiting teams are a little more fiscally responsible than that second tier who's trying to get up to that level. So the odds are Ohio State is not going to have the most lucrative financial offer to Pettijohn. But they certainly have the best opportunity. How fast can you get on the field? It's looking good at Ohio State for Pettijohn. Who are you playing with? Who are you playing for? The NFL draft pedigree at Ohio State. But we know how we feel about Ohio State. We would never lose a recruit if it was us making the decision, that's for sure. USC's situation, they have a brand new defensive staff, a very ballyhooed defensive staff. They're good. They're really good. Quality defensive staff for sure. Good recruiters. And they need players. They got nobody. And a dude like Pettijohn walks in there and plays almost immediately. They started off this cycle signing 2 absolute dogs in Justice Terry and Elijah Griffin, 2 5-star defensive linemen out of Georgia, a very highly rated cornerback out of Florida. All 3 of those dudes have since flipped out of their class. They do have another top 100 overall linebacker currently signed, and he's from California, so he's going to stick in the class. But to be able to pair that kid with Pettijohn and sell that to the rest of the recruits on the board for them, look, we've got the core right here. Here's Pettijohn. Here's whatever that kid's name is. That goes a long way for them. So this is huge. Incredibly important for them. And USC's NIL is in excellent shape coming into this cycle. They were struggling for the first couple of years. They got it together, and they're loaded. And this class has not gone anywhere near the way they thought it would. And honestly, I think this is where Oregon deserves a lot of credit, because USC can't land these dudes even trying to spend this money. They've got a pile of money, and they can't. The tactic only works if you're elite recruiters too. So Justice, Elijah Griffin, they were going to cost them a ton of money, and now they aren't spending that money. Pettijohn, very important to them. And that means most likely here at the 11th hour, they're coming hard. Like they're coming hard with everything they got. If I'm the kids' parents, I'm not even considering them. I'm not. And we're talking about parents who are familiar with the game here. Dad was an All-American defensive lineman in Syracuse. Granted, it was in the 90s. Things were obviously different, but a sharp dude. He's been around the game. He knows when coaches are running game. He can see the desperation plays. Smart dude, really nice family. And they know that elite players don't go play defense for Lincoln Riley for a reason. His defense is always going to get the short end of the stick on that team in practice, in development, whatever it is. Elite players don't want to be part of a defense that gives up 35 points a game, even if the offense scores 42. That's just a bad look, man. That's not fun. So what does this do to our class if he becomes a Buckeye? Well, for one, that makes number 23. He would also add to a linebacker room that has TJ Alford, Eli Lee, and that's a three-man linebacker crew of two guys in TJ Alford and Pettijohn, roughly the same size, 6'2", 210, crazy athletes who can run and hit, just supreme athleticism. And then you got your 6'3", 230-pound thumper, who's also as athletic as any guy that size, can take on any kind of block, shed blocks, stuff up the middle, and Eli Lee. Really, really great dynamic pair of three linebackers. And it would be a thing of beauty for James Laurinaitis in his very first class. And remember, it was an abbreviated class. James Laurinaitis, when I first started this show, we had, that was just 5 months ago now. And I want to say like the first month and a half, a lot of the talk between us was about James Laurinaitis. Was he going to get the full-time job? And other linebacker coaches were negatively recruiting against him, saying he wouldn't be there. Ryan Day wasn't going to hire him. He had little kids and he didn't want to be, he wasn't ready to commit full-time. You guys remember. So he was behind the eight ball right from the beginning. And when he was able to travel in a temporary capacity, when Parker Fleming was dismissed, he was able to take that 11th spot and go travel. First thing he did was went after TJ Alford, and he got the job done. So to be able to finish this class off with Riley Pettijohn, first shot out the gate, absolutely incredible job by James Laurinaitis. So I think that would confirm probably what most of us thought. Certainly I did. I know a lot of you did. That James Laurinaitis is absolutely going to be that dude on the recruiting trail. I mean, the guy's just dynamic as a man, as a person, as a player. When you saw the picture of him with, I talked to TJ Alford when he was on the show with me. There was a picture of TJ Alford that he tweeted out after James Laurinaitis came down and visited him for the first time. And usually when you see these pictures, you see the coach kind of fussing on the player. And this one was totally different. TJ, his eyes were all bugged out. He was kind of pointing like this at James Laurinaitis. It was clear he was just in awe of James Laurinaitis. And I'm sure if any of these young dudes know their history and their linebackers, they're all going to feel that way. But it's so much more than that. He's just a special dude. He's the type of dude that just lights up every room he's in. He owns the room. He's also the baddest dude in every room he's in. I mean, that adds something. He's sincere, accomplished in life, and the way he's done things in life, I think most people look at that as someone who's done it the right way. You know what I mean? Everybody admires the dude. And the guys that are attracted to that type of dude, to James Laurinaitis, they're the guys we want, man. And I really like it. Let's have a look-see, and welcome in, everybody. Let's have a look at some Riley Pettijohn film here. So Riley in the blue. This is McKinney Texas stadium, and you'll see in the background a couple shots of this stadium. It's crazy. It's absolutely enormous. I don't know what the seating capacity is. I was going to look. I mean, you can just – this kid is so fast, but also an incredibly sure tackler for a kid that size. I mean, he lays the lumber. Look at the stands there. I love this stadium. It's usually empty, though, every clip I see it. Great pursuit angles. He's quick enough to beat blocking angles all day long. Usually doesn't take him on head on, but, he can. He just did there. Ooh. There we go. Hey, Chris. What's Chris say? My opinion, he said the Ohio State visit was the most competitive and physical team he visited. I think he saw the receivers on the team and it intimidated him, in my opinion. Oh, who are we talking about? I'm going to have to scroll back a few and catch up with you guys here. Let's see here. Welcome, Sean, RDB, Steven. What's up, guys? Hey, Doreen. Tyler, what's up, buddy? BC, what's happening? BC says it feels like USC to me. Let's hope not. You think so, bud? Or are you just nervous because we just had some bad news last time? Good morning, Alex. Anthony, what's up, buddy? Hey, Rick. Sue, what's going on? Villains of the Village. Villains of the Village says, I believe he's a Buckeye. I'm with Villains. I think unless USC pulls off some offer you just can't refuse, this dude's all Buckeye. RDB, what time's the announcement? So there's a countdown here next to me on the 247 stream. We got 18 minutes left. And let's hope it's not like the Corian Morris announcement, guys. Oh my gosh. Did anybody watch that? It was absolutely horrific. Hey, Luke. Absolutely horrific. Villains of the Village says, Chuck, are you worried about Bo believing it would be a two-back class, but it seems we are still trying to get running backs on campus? Now, this is an interesting topic, Villains. So here's the deal. I just have a hard time. I feel like Bo misspoke to Kevin Noon, or there was a mix-up in that comment, because we were told from Berm unequivocally that all the backs knew. He said, he confirmed this, all the backs knew that they were looking to get 3 backs in the class. And if they didn't know, and then you brought in a third back, clearly you would have yourself an issue. So it would make sense that they would surely want to put that out there. So I just feel like maybe that was a mix-up in communication. But I did see what Kevin said. I certainly believe Kevin. He's one of the most reputable dudes on that beat. I just feel like maybe maybe Bo was mixed up, because you just had Jordan Davison in. We thought about to sign. And I mean, what happens if that happens and Bo really thought there was going to be 2? I mean, obviously Bo's not the type to care, but I just, but no, I guess that's the bottom line. No, I don't think Bo will care at all. Bo's a confident dude. Bo wants to be at Ohio State. Ray says, Ray, what's up, buddy? This will make or break my day. He's praying. Go Bucks. Let's see. Mel is in the house. Billy Tuesday. What's up, fellas? General Chrome. Fisherman says, Texas has the biggest NIL deal for Moore per his mother. He still went to Oregon. Oregon higher samples. People aren't talking enough about it. That's what she said, huh? I did not see that. Sue is feeling good about our chances with Pettijohn. I'm feeling pretty good too. Our buddy Troy was watching a USC show last night. The Ohio State is dropping bags talk is already happening, and that is rich, man. That's all they've got to offer when it comes to a defensive player. What could they possibly say that could land them any defensive recruit other than let us pay you? Like, honestly, what could they possibly say? So to say that about Ohio State and a defensive player, one of the best defenses in the country last year, that's insane. How many guys are getting drafted off of Ohio State's defense coming up next year? I can't stand you. I said it in my Sunday show. They have walked into the conference, and I'm talking about USC fans. They've walked into the conference, clicked up with Michigan fans, started calling us Ohio. Like they are 2 fan bases that were just made perfect for each other. They really are. They are arrogant. They are obnoxious. They're 2 peas in a pod, man. And I'm happy that they clicked up. I really am. Billy Tuesday says, decision of a 17-year-old changing my mood. Listen, boy, I had this realization after the Hill thing. Probably 5 times I said to myself, dude, this kid turned 18 today. Remember, it was his birthday. This kid turned 18 today, and I'm sitting here letting this bother me. Are you kidding me? Oh. Chris Sowers says, DeCorian Morris seemed like the way he talked about it, he was intimidated by Ohio State practice. I missed that. I missed that too. I got to tell you, man, after watching his announcement, and I watched the whole thing, and I was so happy. I showed it on the show last night, but Tavian popped in there and said, bro's teaching life lessons, just laughing emojis. It was hilarious. Like, what did his mom's asking? What advice would you give to the children? Like, what are you talking about, dude? Everybody was just clowning him. Just tell us where it's going to be, man. I mean, and I get it. It's your moment. But keep in mind, this was his second moment. He did the same thing when he committed to LSU already and then flipped off that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Billy says, about time for Wilt Fong to flip his RPM. What does he have it on? Does he have it on Texas? Did he put one in? I don't even check those things anymore. It's so obnoxious. It really is. Oh, here we go. Chris says Billy, in fact, flipped it yesterday. Yeah, Steve Wiltfong flipped it yesterday. So he flipped his RPM yesterday, which, I mean, the whole point of that is totally defeated if you just wait till the day before or the day of the commitment and then flip it. I mean, the point is to make a prediction. And I get that it's harder now. Then just do away with it. Just do away with the whole thing. But you're really making yourselves look ridiculous. They're catching a ton of heat, as they should, for ruining people's moments. The thing that he did with Justin Hill, I thought was just really rude, man. It was really rude because he said that he talked to him in the morning, and Justin Hill made it very clear to him what a secret he was trying to keep here. Like, he told Steve Wiltfong, I've only told my brother, and I've told the linebackers coach at Alabama. And then Wiltfong puts his prediction on Alabama at 12:04 when Hill's going to announce at 1, full well knowing how much this kid wanted it to be a secret. I hope the kids are recognizing this and they quit talking to this guy. Like, quit giving him the information then. Doreen says, hey, I'll just finish my 6 miles. Buckeyes. Thanks, Stephanie. All the credit to her. Stephanie, awesome. Doreen, awesome. Sue, 3 of our 7 female listeners in the house today. Saw 3 of them. Doreen, just a casual 6 miles on a Saturday morning. That is pretty impressive, man. Where Goes One says, not always about the money. And no, it's not. Particularly if you're a defensive player and the money's coming from USC. Playing on a Lincoln Riley defense just sounds all sorts of bad idea to me, honestly, if you're a high-level defensive player. Morning, Dev. Dev says, Tyler, it's looking better than Brew and Hill so far. That's the truth. Billy, this is exciting to me. So Billy Tuesday says, with James Laurinaitis, we're going to become LBU, along with being wide receiver U and DBU, but we certainly want to be offensive line U too. And isn't that the truth? And I tried to find this clip of James Laurinaitis actually coaching the guys at the shoe. He's got these pads on his arms, this chest pad on. He's got his hat on backwards. They're running full speed at him, and he's just checking them. It fired me up, man. You guys I got to find it. I have to find it and show it on the show. He's just awesome. He's awesome. And I've got a stroke of luck this week. Is it Tuesday? I'm really pumped, guys. It's Wednesday. Wednesday, I get to go down to the Woody and I get to have a conversation with James Laurinaitis. So I'm hoping that I can get some of that on record. I can get him to film some and put it on the show. And I certainly will. I don't know if he's going to be comfortable with that. I don't know. But I do get to go talk to him. Hey, what's up, Dago? Absolutely the opportunity I've always wanted. more in RDB. So really excited for that. James Laurinaitis has been like, I mean, we all feel the same way about James. Mello says, Juckeyes. The Juckeye crew. I like it. All right. BC makes a valid point. He feels like it's USC because they're desperate and flush with cash. Kind of what I led with in the opening. They sure are. And there's no doubt that we're not going to be matching their offer because they're going to be paying an irresponsible amount of money, but it's going to make sense to them. And you can see why it makes sense to them. Tyler says it was saying that Juck, he didn't like the competition in the wide receiver room. And I got to tell you, man, after watching more, I hadn't really seen him in a interview of any length of time, just a couple clips here. And we're now 9 minutes from the Riley Pettijohn clip going live. I just seen a couple of clips here and there of more. But watching that whole 20-minute commitment thing, he is a personality that is very much that classic ego diva wide receiver personality that we all know very well. Generally not the type of dude that ends up in the Ohio State wide receiver room. So, obviously a great talent and you certainly want him, but I don't know how well that fits when you think of when you think of the Buckeyes wide receiver room, you think of personalities like Garrett, Olave, JJ, Emeka, Marvin. I mean, some of these dudes more quiet and subdued. Others maybe a little louder, but just really nice, like Garrett. He's got kind of a big personality. Just a really nice, positive guy. DeCorian Moore, probably a perfectly fine dude, but definitely like got that Chad Johnson kind of ego in him. You know what I mean? General Chrome was nervous, but he's thinking all Bucks right now. Now, General Chrome is a guy who has friends in high places, and he's feeling pretty good. That sounds really nice. Corey Hatcher. Running backs can be gotten easier than just about every position, and that's a fact. But there is Toledo tune. Mark Griffin says, Toledo tuning in. Stop saying dude. Buddy, listen. I'll do me. You do you. How about that? How you like that, dude? Village of the Villain says, Wiltfong hasn't dropped a last-second crystal ball to USC. I think we're good. I haven't seen this one. Chris says, I think Gavin Nix has the best commitment video ever. Miami commit. I'm going to jot that down and check that out later. And RDB says, no matter what, we certainly have a bad class, and that's for sure. We score Pettijohn today. That is 4 or 5 stars. Now, with David Sanders on the line, that could be 5. And we've got currently have now dropped down to the number 3 in player average. Alabama's number 1. Oregon 1/100th of a point behind them. And we are 3rd. But with Pettijohn, this will be fluid the whole way out. We're all really, really close. Hollywood Hager says, the foundation sent a subliminal message yesterday on Buckeye Scoop. We're good. And Mrs. Sanchez says hello. Hello, Mrs. Sanchez. Phil says good morning. Everyone excited to see Mrs. Sanchez. Good morning, Phil. Doreen says, the best recruiter in here, certainly talking about Mrs. Sanchez. Oh, here's my buddy. Dano. Dano's on a road trip with Juck. He's Florida bound. The Div Jack clan. Drive safely, guys. Where are you headed, buddy? We're in Florida. Dan sent me a picture of the beach right as I was getting on here, but I did not get a chance to ask. Villains of the Village. My favorite Buckeye mama, Mrs. Sanchez, in the building. Matt says, Chuck, love that you're one of us, brother. Thank you, buddy. I love being one of us. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It's kind of been part of my identity. Most in my family probably think too much for most of my life, but that's okay, man. I'm fine with me. I love me, and this is who I am. Terry, my buddy, go Bucks, buddy. I wish I knew what this meant. Matt says Wilt Fung is a Tappan merchant. I don't know what that means. I have to look that up. All right. Mrs. Sanchez gives us a little inside insight, and I kind of figured that this was with talking about Hill here. This had not a whole lot to do with the schematic fit or the wolf position or the jack position. The kid just liked Alabama. And he just wanted to go to Alabama. And you'll have that. So not everybody grows up wanting to go to Ohio State. I get it. Whatever. And good luck to him. And Chris says he did not know that story about Wilt Fung. But yeah, absolutely right. That's what he did. Terrible. Dietrich says it's not all about the money, but most of the time it is. And in this era, we are certainly all getting a quick, hard lesson on how that's going here. General Chrome, $10. Have a beer on me after Riley picks us. Go Bucks. Thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate that. I'll make it a Diet Pepsi because I don't drink, but I'll keep the change and we'll spend it on something cool. Nowadays says, how's David Sanders doing? Hey, man, I'll tell you, if anybody knows, let me know because I don't think he's giving out any updates. I think the coaches or the phones are off for the whole Sanders family, and they're not talking to anybody. And they're going to make their decision and let us all know when we know. I think anybody speculating anything more than 2 weeks ago, like after that, if you're coming up with something new, then you're just making it up because they're not talking to anybody. OHIO podcast, my buddies over there. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, guys. Mr. Boggs. Oh, happy birthday, buddy. Mr. Boggs had his birthday yesterday. Troy says USC is kind of where we were when we hired Knowles. Yeah, things were looking bad. He had to show proof of concept and that they were serious about D, and it's now successful. They'll keep missing until they prove something on the field. Let's hope that's the case. As Riley Pettijohn now set to go live in 2 minutes. 2-minute warning. Billy says, is there any real hope for French? I don't think so at all, and especially now that Texas has missed out on DeCorian Moore. They can offer French even more. And like French to me was always in it. Like he's a all about the money kind of guy, and that's fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with that if that's the way you want to play it. You can certainly go to the NFL from Texas as a wide receiver in the first round and playing for Arch Manning. It's a fine setup. So I think he is all Texas at this point, and it doesn't make me sad at all. Dev's talking about O-line. Not going after O-line this year because 26 is loaded in Ohio isn't a good idea. Fry will probably miss on 2 of the 4 Ohio linemen, and he hasn't even offered Guthrie, and that's a fact. Has not offered Adam Guthrie, which is unconscionable to me, by the way. I think Adam Guthrie is every bit the player of the other 3. I think Sam Greer has the highest ceiling, but Maxwell Riley, Will Conroy, all studs, all 4 of those kids, and you absolutely cannot miss them. You cannot miss those 4. They're absolute layups. Cookie Monster says, hey, everyone, 8 Saturdays away. We're counting down, aren't we? Billy says, besides Sanders, who are we still on in the offensive line? The only one that we're on, well, we haven't had the decision yet from Josh Petty, who we're still technically on, but we've never really been in it. We're in his top 5. He's going to either Florida State or one of the smart schools in Stanford or Georgia Tech. And then Javon McFadden, who said he's not going to make his decision till the fall. He's a guard, 3-star guard out of Maryland. He's down to Maryland, Colorado, and Ohio State. This is Jordan Seaton's best buddy. Remember, Jordan Seaton went to Colorado. So a fair chance that if Colorado starts hot, he may actually give them a shot at getting him. Other than that, most people think he's coming to Ohio State. If that's the case, we would end up with David Sanders, Carter Lowe, 2 absolute monster tackles. And then you got your hometown hero, Jake Cook, at center, and Javon McFadden as a guard. And that's a doggone good class. You've done a good job. No matter how you got there, and it's been a long, winding road. If that's the end result, it's been a job well done, and I will give props to Mr. Fry. Stephanie, hey, my Juckeye friends, let's get it. Stephanie, day 1, Stephanie, Juck on Pucker. Thanks, Stephanie. You're the best. Roger says he keeps hearing Chris Henry Jr. may reclassify. He has explored it. That has been confirmed. No decision has been made yet. How do you guys feel about that? I talked about this on the weekend show. I would rather he didn't in some ways because you want him to get a year bigger and stronger before he gets on campus. I also kind of like the idea of staggering a year between him and JJ. But at the same time, if he did reclassify, we don't have to deal with the long, drawn-out process and worrying about teams creeping in on his recruitment. He already talked about LSU and Oregon wanting to visit. Actually, I think he did go on official visits to go see them. And the longer the play is for him, the more chances for things to go haywire for us. And, that would be the advantage if he did reclassify, because I think it would be pretty boom, quick and over with. Oh, this is a great question. Juck, what is your favorite piece of memorabilia? Man, I'm going to have to get back to you on that. Let me write that down. I've got a lot of memorabilia. You're probably looking at about, 10% of what's down here. But I definitely will get back to you on that. I do love my Eddie George jersey. Eddie signed that jersey his Heisman year. And that is a really cool piece to me. All right, guys, we got the stream pulled up. 2 minutes in, and Riley's yet to turn it on. But hey, I know the feeling. Oh, here we go. Oh, now we got a countdown. 1:48. I told you guys I was going to come on last Saturday at 2 o'clock, and I didn't make it on until 9 p.m. So I understand. Sometimes things happen. General Chrome says, Andrew, Juck, I had to talk about it. My source said a commit was brewing, and he was talking about Autry, still not flipped. My source misunderstood what was said to him. Oh, okay. So General Chrome is talking about last time we had a stream, he had said that Dorian Brew was going to be a Buckeye because a friend of his, who's pretty well connected, had said to him that a commitment was brewing. Because he said brewing, General Chrome obviously thought, oh, he's telling me something here, right? I would think the same thing. So a little mix up in wording there, and it happens. Doreen says, we need some merch, Juck. Man, nobody wants to wear my name on a shirt. Oh, you're the best. Oh, Dago, a wild cherry Pepsi guy myself. Now, give me that in the diet form, and I'm with you. I can't do the regular sugar pops anymore. 38 Rosemary Beach. Another note I got to take. I've not seen Rosemary Beach. Sounds great, Dano. Send pics, buddy. Ooh, Sue just got a JJ Smith jersey. I must have missed something here. Dietrich says that baby is struggling right now. Sounds like somebody had something bad happen. Okay, Tom Loy at 247 has just come on live. Doesn't appear to be with Riley. Russ says, Zach Smith made a good point on these kids going for the money now and don't get developed. They won't make it in the NFL. Well, and that's the thing that they're balancing. And if you're their parents, you got to be looking, obviously you try to figure out who's the best one to develop my kid. And then sometimes maybe you might go to a place that's a little less promising in that area if they offer you a lot more money. I mean, these are the decisions that all of us would have to weigh. And the Buckeyes, can rely a lot of times on offering a slightly less number and still get these guys. And then sometimes they can't. Sometimes guys just I want the most money. And that's that. And generally, Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State aren't going to be the ones that go bananas on. They're not usually going to be the highest offer. They're just not. And they don't have to be. They can be more fiscally responsible. It's the ones trying to get to their level that have to come with those offers. He did not commit yet, Scooch. He is now on the screen with Tom Loy. Ooh. Now, listen, Des Jones, man, am I a fan. Billy says Des will be an awesome slot as well, and he will, man. So quick, such a good route runner. Fantastic speed, great moves. And Tom Loy now talking to Riley Pettijohn. Riley not on set with him. Shepherd Ducks, thank you, buddy. Thanks for the 5. I was pretty happy with your college football breakdown layout. I'd love for Christopher to come to Eugene for a good old beating. Now, so the Duck fans don't like Mario Cristobal. I didn't know that. You guys hadn't talked to me about that yet. Let me write that in my notes. We'll circle back on that one. I mean, for all the bragging you do about Mario Cristobal bringing the Ducks into Columbus and winning that game against the Buckeyes' worst defense of my life, I would think you really liked Mario Cristobal because you guys certainly talk about that game quite a bit, don't they, Bucks? Don't they like to bring that up a lot? Mika says, I want Malik Autry to be a Buckeye. Man, I think he's just a game wrecker, a game changer, a body type we never have, that just massive monster in the middle of the defense. I would be so excited for that one. Oh, Chris has some info on us. Chris says, Henry said he is not going to reclassify, and Pac-Man doesn't want him to. He's locked in. Perfect. Definitely locked in with the Buckeyes. But you never know when you're a year and a half out and you're that big of a prospect. Things can change. How far back am I from you guys? It's 12. Man, I'm 5 minutes behind you guys. Hey, Andrew, what's up, buddy? Happy Saturday. Eli Lee. Oh. Hey, Eli, what's up, brother? Eli, are we going to get another linebacker to join you? All right, Riley's going live with the guys. He's about to say it. Give me some Eli Lee, TJ Alford, and Riley Pettijohn.
My brother Goop for always supporting me even while I was at college. I want to thank Nani for always my grandmother Nani for always giving me advice, and I want to thank my girlfriend Ryan for always supporting me and loving on me. Next I want to thank my coaches, Coach Shavers, Coach So, Coach Jordan, Coach K, Coach Collins, Coach Williams, Coach Leonard too, and that's it, Coach So.
All right, Riley's about to give it to us, guys.
They always been believing in me since I was a freshman, and whenever I made my switch to linebacker, they always been pushing me to be my best and on and off the field. And lastly, I want to thank all the coaches that recruited me and believed in me through this process. And now I'm excited to announce that I'll be attending the Ohio State University.
Yeah, baby! Buckeye, boy!
This is a tremendous pick for Ohio State. The rich get richer.
Boom's in the basement. There we go. And it is, in fact. Congratulations, Eli. Now that is a linebacker crew right there. What a class. What a class. Bucks add another 5-star number 4. Let's pull up what the class looks like with our guy in it. That's not it. Those are remaining targets. Fantastic news. Fantastic news. And USC, despite a late push, trying to woo him with some big dollars, the kid made the smart decision and is going to play for James Laurinaitis with TJ Alford and Eli Lee. You can't beat that. And Tom Loy is talking to him about James Laurinaitis right now. So here's what we're looking at. On defense, Devin Sanchez and Naeem Offord. So you got nice, obviously couldn't ask for anything better with the cornerbacks. Your safeties, Fahim Delane, Cody Haddad, and Deshaun Stewart. Fahim Delane, I think, is the best safety in the country. Cody Haddad, Deshaun Stewart, 2 really big-time sleepers, I think. And I really feel like these are going to be very productive prospects for us. Trajan Odom at defensive tackle, along with Max Roy. Trajan Odom, maybe more of the playmaker. Max Roy, very strong, stiff dude, going to lock it down in there. Kind of reminds me of what a Ty Hamilton might be, kind of like that. London Merritt, Zahir Mathis, Zion Grady, defensive ends. And at linebacker, now you got TJ Alford, Eli Lee, and Riley Pettijohn. I mean, such a well-rounded defense. Every position's covered here. And you got good numbers at all of them. Fantastic job by the Buckeyes. Best part, these are all really good dudes. Really good dudes. Not going to get a single problem out of any one of them. They all got great attitudes. They all want to be Buckeyes. Riley Pettijohn, no different. So, great job all the way around. And the Buckeyes get their 4th 5-star of the cycle. That'll boost that player rating and that mythical number 1 class race that, you know, it would be cool, but really we don't care, but it would be cool anyway. We know we got an excellent class, an excellent group of guys in here. Andrew says he's been asking for a Let's Get It shirt. I got to tell you, my kids make so much fun of me about the Let's Get It. They roast me mercilessly. So I pretend every time we hear somebody else say, let's get it, I say to them, they must watch the show. And they think that I'm being serious. And I lead on that I'm being serious. No, nobody else says that. That's what I say on every show. Dad, everybody said, no. I say it at the beginning of the show, every single show. We know. They didn't watch your show. You guys don't understand. It's a big thing. My wife is in on the gag, but they think I'm totally serious. And it's pretty funny watching their frustration. Chocolate chip hoochie scoochie. A lot of kids don't get developed. They go to a big enough school to be known and drafted while getting paid. That's true. That's true. And I don't want those kids. Matt K says, Oregon, horrible decision for Moore. How many first-round wide receivers have they sent to the league? Yeah, I don't know that that's fair to say that. You know, it's a new coaching staff. I can tell you that their wide receiver room is pretty loaded right now, and I think we're going to see quite a few in the league soon. I think Junior Adams is a really good wide receiver coach. And this is something that we discussed on the show that Deidre lets everybody know. Moore's high school head coach's son is at Oregon now as the running back coach, and that is correct. So the Duncanville High School head coach, a legendary head coach, and his name slips my mind, but his son is who Dan Lanning hired to replace Carlos Loughlin. Now, he didn't just hire him because he's his son and he's at Duncanville. He's a qualified coach, but you know, might have served 2 purposes there. You know what I mean? Might have served 2 purposes, which is okay. Mika says, I love Eli Lee. Absolutely. Eli Lee is awesome. Can I turn it up? Yeah, I think I can turn it up. You were talking about, I'm behind you. I'm sorry, buddy. Did I turn it up? Oh, I did. Sounds like a fine young man. Yes, he does. Boom's in the house, guys. Man, I'm getting better at this, I think, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up here. Eli, our good luck charm. Absolutely. Andrew says he's a composite 5-star, and he sure is. Nick says, we literally haven't had a 5-star in like 30 seconds. What's wrong with our recruiting? That is great. Little Animal crushing it. Thanks, Doozy. James on the rise. A dog indeed. Eric Boggs from the OHIO podcast says that was professionalism. Well-spoken and to-the-point announcement. No self-promotion and Dollar General fireworks. And, of course, he's talking about DeCorian Moore's 25-minute marathon of nonsense last night, or the Thursday night. Oh, my gosh, was it dreadful. It was hard to watch, but I did watch it. Now, Dago makes a great point here. Imagine what James Laurinaitis is going to do with an actual full recruiting cycle as the permanent linebackers coach. I can't wait. Absolutely cannot wait. Craig Bowman. Craig is Captain F Nuts on YouTube. What's up, Craig? What's up, Captain F Nuts? Can you tell us what Captain F Nuts means? Come get developed, young man. Absolutely. What a freaking class. Now, this is something I love. Andrew says the Buckeyes recruit good dudes, maintain the culture. It's not talked about enough. We don't appreciate it enough. I don't think we give it enough credit. This is the best culture we've ever had at Ohio State. These guys all sound like they're 27 years old when they're interviewed. There's never an issue. It's fantastic. It really is excellent to not ever have to worry about anything like that. Mrs. Sanchez says the 25. So excited for these boys. Absolutely. And we're back on to Sanders. Yeah. He's the biggest one, man. He's the biggest one. We get Sanders, and this class is so well-rounded and complete and dominant that, it's not like a lot of the awesome classes we've had that were carried by one position or another with 5 stars. The wide receiver, we get that all the time. Well, they weren't really great classes because they were just propped up by multiple highly rated wide receivers. This one is very well-rounded. We've got 5 defensive linemen. We've got excellent corners. We've got excellent safeties. Excellent running backs. The best quarterback, It's all over the place. If you can add the best offensive lineman, think about that. The best quarterback, the best offensive lineman, the best cornerback, you're locking down the 3 most valuable positions on the football field. The quarterback, the left tackle, and the cornerback. By the way, I'll take 2 at corner. You know what I mean? 3 most valuable positions, you're taking the best in the class. You can't get better than that. Got him. Love what James Laurinaitis is doing, says Lukey from the Tailgate. And guys, check Luke out, man. Luke's podcast, The Tailgate, a Power 5 podcast. He's got to change it to a Power 4 podcast. Unfortunate for Luke. He started the podcast last year. The Tailgate, a Power 5 podcast. Then, of course, we switched. Now we're Power 4. And he's got this logo made up that he probably spent $400 on because that's what it costs. And he's got to get it redone. So that's a shame, Luke. I'm sorry, buddy. Chocolate chip, hoochie scoochie. Like the video. OH. Thanks for the $1.99, buddy. Appreciate you. My guy. Corey says, OSU recruiting is hitting it out of the park. A very solid and well-rounded group for 2025, and they aren't done yet. And it is just incredibly exciting, isn't it, guys? Incredibly exciting. I think the most fun part is we're going into a year where the college football playoff, the state of our team heading into this year, the pent-up irritation we have from the way last year ended, I don't feel like I've ever had so much excitement heading into an actual football season. And then to be able to have this to kind of keep us busy while we get there, this amazing class brewing as we look forward to the future, it's just a thing of beauty, man. A thing of beauty. Christy says, DeCorian, Wasn't sure if I was watching the Emmys or a gender reveal. That did resemble those gender reveal videos that you see on, well, of course I don't see. Somebody else sees them on TikTok. I don't see them on TikTok. I'm not watching TikTok. Mika says David Sanders up next. Jay Bag says we're going to have to go full-blown nuclear on Dan Lanning. He's seeking to be a thorn in our side the way Pete Carroll, Urban Meyer at one time, and Dabo Swinney were. Yeah, dude, the guy is getting it done. He's getting it done at a clip that they've never got it done at Oregon. He is now with the absolutely unregulated pay-for-play that we're allowed to do now. It takes more than that, though. You got to have the money, and you got to have the excellent recruiting chops, which he does, and his entire crew does. So they get him to that point, and then they can close the deal financially. It's, listen, they got 3 5-stars in the class. They've got Michael Terry, DJ Pickett, Trey McNutt, and Jonah Williams. 4 more 5-stars that are currently crystal balled or trending to Oregon. Now, they're not going to land them all. But, man, it's the truth. It's just the truth. General Chrome, thank you so much. My dude said everything was silent this morning about Pettijohn. Recruits are radio silent for what Thamel and Wiltfong did. So the word's spreading. And, good on these guys for not telling them anything. I like that. They shouldn't be telling them anything because they're burning them. Thank you so much for the $5, buddy. Appreciate you very much. Jimmy Jackson. Hey, Buckeye family. What's up, buddy? Captain F Nuts answered the question and says it's rated R, so we're not going to ask any further. Mrs. Sanchez only has 5 months before he leaves. Oh, that's sad. We'll take good care. We'll take good care. All right, guys. I appreciate you so much. I'm going to go hit the workout. Extra intense today with the good news and 4 cups of coffee in me now. I appreciate you all so much for joining me as we celebrate another excellent edition to the 25. And hey, whether it wins the title or not, doesn't matter. We've got a fantastic group of guys, an excellent group of players, and we're blessed, man. We're a blessed crew. Things couldn't be better in Buckeye Nation. I certainly appreciate you all so much. Thank you for joining me today on Juck on Bucks, and hopefully we can do another one of these soon. So thanks so much, guys. Thanks, Dago. Number 23 is right. Thank you, Doreen. See you, Andrew. Have a great one, Mello. See you guys. Thank you, Deetra. Have a good one, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.